Under the shade of a mango tree, an old woman named Mama Ijoma sits on a wooden stool, surrounded by children. Her wrinkled face lights up as she looks at the eager young faces, some munching on roasted corn, others playing with sticks in the dirt. She leans on her walking stick and clears her throat, ready to speak. "Come closer, my children," Mama Ijoma began, her voice soft yet filled with wisdom. "Let me tell you a story from my youth. It is a story about the great river, Njaba. A story that taught me to always listen to the wisdom of our elders. This story is why I always tell you never to go to the river at noon. Back then, when I was about your age, I was as curious as a cat. Our village was peaceful, surrounded by tall palm trees and beautiful Njaba River that gave us fishes, water, and cool breeze. But the elders always warned us, do not go to the river at noon, no matter how tasty or curious you are. I didn't understand why. What could happen? I often thought. But I was young, and like many young people, I wanted to see things for myself. One afternoon, my best friend Ada and I were sent to fetch water. It was a hot day, and the sun was right above us, burning everything in sight. We knew it was close to noon, but Ada said, "Let's hurry. We'll fetch the water and come back before anyone notices." I hesitated for a moment, remembering the warnings, but the heat made me tired and thirsty, so I followed her. When we reached the river, it sparkled like a sea of diamonds. The water was so clear we could see the fish swimming lazily beneath the surface. The coolness of the river felt like a blessing after the scorching sun. We dipped our pots into the water and began filling them. As we walked, I heard something. A soft, sweet melody. It was like a song, but not in any language I knew. I stopped and looked around. "Ada, do you hear that?" Ada nodded, her eyes wide. "Who is singing?" she whispered. We looked towards the center of the river, and there she was, a woman. No, a mermaid. Her long golden hair floated on the water like threads of sunlight, and her tail sparkled with every color of the rainbow. She was the most beautiful creature I have ever seen. The mermaid smiled at us, her teeth as white as pearls. Her voice was as soft as the wind, and she said, "Come closer, children. Don't be afraid. I have something for you." She held up something shiny, a pear the size of an orange. It glowed like a tiny moon, and for a moment, I couldn't take my eyes off it. Ada took a step forward, reaching out her hand, but something deep inside me felt wrong. I grabbed her arm. "No, Ada. My mother said mermaids can be tricky. Don't trust her." The mermaid's smile faded. Her eyes grew dark, and the river began to sway. Her sweet voice turned sharp and angry. "You dare reject my gift?" she thundered. The water rolled like a giant hand and reached for us. Ada and I screamed, dropping our pots as the currents pulled at our feet. We tried to run, but the river was too strong. Just when I thought we would be swept away, a loud voice called from the riverbank, "Leave them alone, Okwoma." It was Baba Eze, the oldest fisherman in the village. He stood tall with his fishing net slung over one shoulder. His voice was firm and fearless. The mermaid hissed, her face twisted with anger. "You protect these children today, old man, but they will not always have you." With that, she vanished beneath the water, and the river became calm again. Baba Eze helped us back to the riverbank. We were shaking like leaves in the wind. He looked at us with stern eyes. "Didn't the elders warn you not to come to the river at noon? The spirits of the waters are strongest at this time. They don't like to be disturbed. You were lucky today, but luck would always save you." When we returned to the village, our mother scolded us, but their eyes were filled with relief. My mother said, "Hey Joma, you must always listen to the wisdom of the elders. They know the dangers that you cannot see." From that day on, I never went near the river at noon again. I respected the river and the spirits within it, and you, my children, must do the same. The river gives us life, but it must also be treated with care and respect. Mama Ijoma paused, her eyes scanning the children's faces. Some looked scared, others curious. The moral of the story, she continued, her voice softening, is to always listen to those who know better. The elders' rules are to protect us even when we don't understand them. And remember this, not everything beautiful is good for you. Sometimes beauty can hide danger. So promise me, all of you, that you will never go to the river at noon. The children nodded quickly, some holding on to each other tightly. Mama Ijoma smiled, satisfied that her story had planted a seed of wisdom in their young minds.